guys, and welcome to my channel. Well, there's that new case that's in the news just in the last week or so of Shane Carey and his fiancée Heidi Broussard. Now, she woke up on a Thursday and decided that she was going to take her son to school for the first time since she had had the baby, I assume. And this is what Shane said. Now, I don't know if that sounds suspicious to you or not, but it was the first time that maybe he had a chance to do anything. Well, let's throw it out there. Just a thought. And remember, he's innocent until proven guilty. Now, she dropped her son off at school and she bought 3 books at the bookstore. And around 8-ish in the morning, that was the last time that Shane had spoke to her. And she said she spent $25 on the books and couldn't wait to read them to her son. Now, she arrived at the school around 7:30 a.m. in the morning when she dropped her 6-year-old son off. His name is Silas. Well, and she was seen on surveillance image, which was released by the police, and showed the mother dressed in a purple shirt on the campus. And that was about 20 minutes later. Carey said Heidi called him around 8 a.m. and expressed excitement over some books she bought for her son at the school fair. Okay, she got to school around 7:30, dropped her son off, and then went to the school fair. And in that 30 minutes, she had bought the books and called him up. Now, he said he talked to her. He said he talked to her because she had called him. He didn't say she texts me or anything. Well, maybe this is their routine. I don't know. She calls him at 8 o'clock every morning. But anyway, that's what he says. He said later on he tried calling her again around 1:40 p.m. but her phone was off. Now, in the interview he did mention 2 p.m., but that's when he got home from work, around 2 p.m. And he refers to his girlfriend not by name, but keeps calling her the fiancée. Now, it's a bit irritating to me because you don't have to keep throwing that one out there. We know she's the girlfriend, and you've been together in a relationship for around 10 years. And you are a divorced man, or you have got another child with another woman. Right. We'll just throw that one out there because that's what he said. But her name is Heidi. And she is 33 years old, and she just had a baby. Now, she went missing, and the baby. And the baby at the time was 2 weeks, but just turned 3 weeks. Still, what's a few days? The baby is 3 weeks old, less than 3 weeks old, and weighs around 7 pounds just over, and 22 inches long on her last doctor's visit. And when he says about he tried calling her around 1:40, he mentions that he was home. It sounds like he was in the driveway or somewhere and calls her at 1:40 p.m. in the afternoon. That's kind of how he says it, and then he says he gets home at 2 p.m. So that's a little conflicting there. But anyway, they must park their cars near each other, because he parks his truck or whatever he drives, and he said Heidi's car was unlocked and her purse was inside. So is he in the habit of testing doors and looking inside her car when he gets home? Her ID and bank cards are still in her purse in the car. The mother's keys and her mobile phone were the only things missing, he said. Yeah, you gotta get rid of the phone, I guess. It's my opinion. And it doesn't matter anyway, because if you are calling on your mobile phone and it's not a burner phone, it can be easily traced, and it can be your alibi. You know, easy to do, make you look good, or it's going to make you look bad. But in either case, soon after Kerry said he got the call from the school, because they obviously had called Shane and to say that Heidi hadn't picked up her son. Now, we know she dropped him off, but was she meant to be picking up her son from school? Because remember, she'd had a baby, and this was her first time since she had the baby dropping her son off, and took her little girl with her. And so was she meant to be picking up her son, or was he meant to be picking up? And he forgot because he was busy doing something else. Just my opinion. And so he went to get his boy himself. But that's a little, I don't know what their arrangements was, but he never said she was supposed to pick her son up from school that day. So, but somebody was dropping him off and picking him up every day. So he returned home and found the mother and daughter still missing. So he got home at 2 o'clock. He went to pick his son up from school, got back, and she was still missing. But in the interview by the press, he was talking about, he thought, well, she's probably at one of the neighbors. She's probably at one of the neighbors' homes, you know, so he wasn't too concerned. But he knew her car was outside. Who was picking up his son? If he's at home and she's missing but her car's outside, who's going to pick up his son? Well, you might have thought, or maybe he thought the boy was with her. I don't know. He might have thought that. And So she's still missing. So at this time, I don't know what time it is at this time, that he decides to contact the police. But it's several hours later. So it's about 7-ish, 7:30-ish. So he's waited all this time. He said her phone was turned off. I'm not sure if he said it's turned off or her phone is going to voicemail. He didn't say her phone was going to voicemail. He said her phone is turned off. Her phone is off. Well, how would he know if her phone was off or turned off unless it was going straight to voicemail every time? But he didn't mention the phone going to voicemail. Not that I heard, anyway. So he was speaking to Fox 7. Shane said that when he first noticed Heidi was missing, when did he first notice she was missing? I mean, missing. Like if you come home from work and your girlfriend's not in the house but her car's around, and then you think she's missing. Well, she's not missing. She could be anywhere. She could have took a little walk down the street. Like you said, she could be in the neighbor's house. But you know, her phone is off and she's not answering your calls. And you never mentioned it was going straight to voicemail or anything. And so the first thing he does is he panics. She's not home. Where could she be? She's missing. So he walks around the apartment. He starts walking around the apartment complex. Oh yes, guys. And the first thing, he looks in the dumpsters. Oh, because she's not in the house. She's missing right away. Who says somebody's missing right away? Unless you're in some kind of abusive relationship or something, that's the first thing you think of. You didn't. Last time you spoke to her was 8 a.m. in the morning, and then you called again at 1:40 p.m. in the afternoon. You didn't say you tried to get a hold of her time after time after time that morning. You just said you didn't call her again until that time. Well, that's the first thing he starts doing. I'm not sure when he did this. Before he called the police? He started doing this before he called the police? I'm not sure. Going through the dumpsters to see if he could find her keys. What? Well, that don't make sense, does it? You will go through the dumpsters to see if you could find her keys. Yes, that'd be the first thing that I would do too. Oh yeah? And then he says, I sat outside to see if any suspicions, anything that was weird, he said. Yeah? The next morning, I sat out here for hours asking anybody if they had seen or heard screaming. Yeah. Because if you had done anything, you want to know if any neighbors have heard it or seen anything suspicious going on out here. You want to know. I'm just putting it out there, guys. I'm just giving options, opinions to what he's thinking, if this is real or if he's just trying to find out information. Because, you know, people like this do. And not saying he's guilty, we just have to compare the two. And screaming and anything that was off or suspicious, they're all saying no. So, that's good for him. They're all saying no. he also says, I don't know what else to do. It's already the third day. It's getting scary, he said, with a small laugh. Is that a guilty laugh? A lying laugh? Or is he, that's how he is? Because, people are saying that's how he is. But this is serious stuff. This is nothing like no other. This is nothing like no other. So maybe you should act a little different. Because this ain't no joke. An emotional Shane repeated his account in another interview with KVUE, and this was Sunday, in which he appears unsettled and overwhelmed. Now, in this interview, he was sitting down. He was uncomfortable, and he didn't know where to look. He didn't know whether to look to the left, to the right, up or down. But he had his eyes closed or he had his head down. Now, grant you, he was talking to a mobile phone and they had news reporters there filming, but he was being interviewed and questioned by a reporter over the phone. So what do you normally do when you talk on the phone, on a speakerphone? He could have quite easily picked that phone up and just picked it up a little bit and had it in his hand, but away from the camera because they didn't want the phone showing. But we knew he was talking to a phone. In the end, he picked it up, but I kind of would have said, yeah, that's what I want to do, is hold the phone. So anyway, so he's getting all overwhelmed and unsettled, and it was very, very obvious that this was not going good. And I think he should have shut his mouth and stopped doing interviews. Because also, it kind of sounded like it didn't come natural. The grief, the heartache of his child being missing, as well as his girlfriend. But this little baby is also missing. And she has no clothes, no diapers, no food with her, unless the mother is breastfeeding. So it was very concerning that these items were left in the home. So he's doing this interview, and he was asked questions, but kind of went sidetracked. He got sidetracked and just talking about stuff that really wasn't priority at that time. Priority was getting the word out to the news media, to the nation, to the world. Now that your girlfriend and baby daughter is missing, tell them what they look like, how old they are, give them a description, talk about them only, tell them that she's got a son, yes, she's got a sister and a brother, you can tell them those things, but you kind of got sidetracked. And he also was pointing out, saying that he wanted to act more natural for the camera. Well, go ahead and act natural for the camera. Nobody was stopping you acting natural to the camera. You're the one that was saying you were uncomfortable because you couldn't sit still. Well, that was your nerves. You wanted to burn off energy, and by standing up, you can burn off the energy by rocking like a baby, which is irritating. And you wanted to pick up that phone. And in the end, they said, pick up the phone. Keep it down though, keep it down. That's what the news reporter said, keep it down, the cameraman. because they don't want the phone in his hand. And so the cameraman started making him nervous. Because I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to do, man. You're making me nervous, you know. I just want to be natural, man. Just natural. That's what he was saying. I just want to, like, this is not. I don't know. Get the word out there. He starts talking like that. And they're filming this. And they keep filming him. They don't stop. They said, oh, you're doing good. Keep going. Just act natural. You know, they're not fazed by him. In fact, they don't care what he does and acts. Again, they're all on camera. And it could be, and will be, used against him. I don't know why anybody would ever harm or touch these two beautiful women together, Shane told the news outlet. He said that while the family doesn't have any enemies, he's sure that Heidi would not have left on her own. No, she would have took her son with her. She would not do this by herself. She would not do this by herself. She would not be doing this. This is definitely something that happened that was wrong, he said. She is an amazing person. She has an amazing support, friends behind her. She's so personable. One of the best people I've ever met. So kind. And she does anything for kids. One of the best moms. Shane begged everyone with information to contact him, all authorities, and pleaded with the public to share social media posts about her disappearance, addressing the person who may have taken Heidi. Shane said, if you're involved, I don't care. Set it to the side. Set it to the side. He's talking about Heidi and the baby. Just bring her home safe or put her somewhere safe. Just find a way. You won't be in trouble. You won't be in trouble. Just drop her off anywhere. I don't care. Just make sure she's safe and the baby's okay. What does that mean? Is that a message to someone? Has he been a naughty boy? Well, anyway, strange. Heidi is described as being 5 foot 3 inches tall and weighing around 150 pounds. She has long dark hair and she has blonde highlights. The little girl was born on November the 26th. Yep. Well, if she is kidnapped, for real, some person with depression that has lost babies and wanted a baby of her own have been watching her, like you do sometimes, you know, kidnap babies. Well, now they've just given her her birth date, how much she weighed, where was she born, all kinds of stuff. How many inches she is, 7 pounds, 7 ounces. She roughly weighs 22, you know, in length, 22 inches. Well, you just told everybody, because this woman could have been kidnapped because they wanted her baby. She could have been targeted for that reason. Let's take a look at Chris Watts' interview outside his home on the porch. And then I will put Shane's interview that he has done and see if this is a match, look alike, sound alike, actions the same, mannerisms. Well, we'll see. We've seen a lot of people that go on the news begging for the return of their loved ones. You should go back and maybe look at them, because they too turn out to be the ones responsible.
Wow. What's going on right now around your house?
Right now, it's you got K9 units, the sheriff's department. Everybody's like they're doing their best right now to figure out like if they can get a scent, see where they went. If they went on foot, they went in a car, or they went somewhere. And right now, it's just like they've been on point. They're going through the house trying to get a scent, and hopefully they can pick something up to where it's going to lead to something.
What happened? Your wife came home. Tell me what's.
She came home from the airport 2 a.m. and I left around 5:15. She was still here, and like about 12:10 in that afternoon, her friend Nicole showed up at the door. Like I had texted Shanann a few times that day, called her, say but she never got back to me. But she wasn't getting back to any of her people as well, and that's what really concerned a lot of people. Is like if she's not getting back to her, like if she doesn't get back to me, that's fine. Like she gets busy during the day, but she didn't get back to her people, which was very concerning. And Nicole called me when she was at the door, and that's when I came home. And then walked in the house, and nothing was vanished. Nothing was here. I mean, she wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nobody was here.
What's your wife's name?
Shanann, Shanann.
What's your kids?
Bella and Celeste.
How do you spell Celeste?
Celeste.
How old are your daughters?
4, Bella's 4, Celeste is 3.
And so, how many times did you try calling her?
I called her 3 times, texted her about 3 times just to say, what's going on. Like cause after I called her and texted her once, it's like maybe she was just busy. Like she had just gotten back, like everybody's probably calling her from her trip. She just got back from Arizona, and I figured she was just busy. But when her friend showed up, that's what it was like. It registered like, all right, this isn't right.
Do you think she just took off? Do you think?
I mean, right now I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like, I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But I mean, could she just taken off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like I want them back now. Like that's what's in my head. Like if they're safe right now, they're gonna come back. But if they're not safe right now, that's the not knowing part. Like if they're not safe, last night I had every light in the house on. I was hoping that I would just ran over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me, but it didn't happen. And it was just a traumatic night trying to be here.
I'm gonna ask some kind of tough questions about your relationship with your kids.
Yeah, my kids are my life. I mean, those smiles light up my life. And just like, I mean, last night, like during when they usually eat dinner, it was just like I missed them. Like, I mean, I missed telling them, hey, you got to eat that or you're not going to get your dessert, and just like you're not going to get your snack after. I missed that. Like I missed them, cuddle up on their couches. They have like a Minnie Mouse couch and a Sophia couch that they cuddle up on and watch, Bubble Guppies or something. And it was just like, I was, it was tearing me apart last night, and I needed that. I needed that last night, and for nobody to be here last night and to go into their rooms and know that I wasn't going to turn the rain machines on, and I know that I wasn't going to turn their monitor on, and know I wasn't going to kiss them to bed tonight. It was that's why last night was just horrible. I couldn't do it. I want everybody to just come home. Like wherever they're at, come home. That's what I want.
Where was she gone for? She was on. She came back Sunday. You said at 2 at night.
Yeah, because her flight got delayed from Arizona because of like other storms around the nation. So
Yeah.
she's supposed to get home at like 11. She got home at like 1:48. She got in bed about 2.
What was she going for? Like family trip or what?
It was a Thrive direct sales. It was a local event that was down there between a bunch of leaders in the company.
And that day she was back. I mean,
I left work early that morning, like 5:15, 5:30. So like she barely got into bed pretty much.
and this might be a tough question, but did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if they're not, this has got to stop. Like somebody has to come forward.
You spoken to her family, like her parents?
Yeah, they've been in constant contact, like every hour. I mean, everybody back in North Carolina and the East Coast. I mean, from Maine to Florida.
What is her parents saying to you? Like,
They're just like if they need to get on a flight, just let them know. Because I mean, they feel helpless right now because they're on the opposite side of the country. I mean, Colorado is. I mean, you can't just drive around and look. I mean, it's just like you wouldn't really know what you're looking for. That's what the cops pretty much told me. That first day, I was like, I want to get out and drive around. They said, you won't know what to look for.
last couple of questions. What does law enforcement, what have the police or the sheriffs or your neighbors, what's police saying to you?
Right now, what they're doing right now is with the canines in the sense. I think this is the biggest thing. This is the biggest thing they've done so far because yesterday the Frederick Police Department did all the searching of the house and tried to gather whatever information they could. And with the detectives, officers, and sergeants, and today it's, obviously with all the activity that's around, it's there's a lot going on around here, and I really hope that all this can lead to something positive.
What did your neighbors, did they see anything? Did your neighbors see anything?
No, like the police department went door to door asking, like cameras and everything, just like nothing.
And my last question, if you have any though, so feel free to step in. My last question is, if your wife can see this, if she can watch this, what would you like to tell your wife and your kids?
Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring her back.
That's it. I can take that mic off you.
Yeah, 7-ish. I think it was like 7:15 or yeah, 7:30 maybe, something like that. Yeah.
And just tell me a little bit about Heidi and Marga.
Oh, they're amazing. They're beautiful, loving, loves everybody. She has the best group of friends. Margot is the sweetest. She's only 2-3 weeks old, and man, she has like the cutest little pucker lips. Gorgeous little baby, and we just play. She doesn't have, she can't do anything mean. I don't know, just beautiful people, loving friends, loving family. Everyone's here to support. I don't know. Like the smallest little baby, she's only 7 pounds. So a teeny tiny, lovable baby. Keeps me warm at night. I don't know.
And Margot's not your only child with Heidi, right?
No, I have a 6-year-old boy named Silas, which is amazing. Great at sports. Great baseball player. Does karate. Beautiful little kid as well. So fun, very intelligent, loving. Just like his mom. He needs his mom back. He needs her back. Anybody. don't care if you think it's a lookalike. Just call in and help, please.
What have the past, I mean, almost 2 days now? What have those been like for you? Have you guys received a lot of calls? How have you been?
Yes, we received a lot of support. People, I mean, news stations, just random people on Facebook, old friends that I forgot about from like high school. They're like, I'm hoping you're doing okay. So we have a lot of support, and it's just people coming over here and just sitting back and just wishing I could do more, and not knowing what to do is the hardest part, because I don't know where she's at. I don't know if she's suffering. I don't know anything, and I can't help. I'm helpless, and that's the worst feeling in the world, is to be helpless. And I know the cops and the investigators are doing their job. They're doing a great job. I just want to do more. It feels like we could do more. And that's where everyone comes in. This is a group. Let's all do it together.
And just, I mean, so talk about, the way that the car was left, the way that the home was left.
Everything was like she was home. I mean, that's why I thought she was at her friend's house. Like, she walked to an apartment complex. The car seat's upstairs, her purse is upstairs, her ID wallet. There's no signs of her taking the baby. And she would never leave her car door unlocked. Her car door is unlocked, so that's a weird sign. So I don't know anything about that. And her purse is inside her car with all the money still inside of it, her ID, her cards, her full purse. It's just the only thing gone is her, the baby, her keys, and her cell phone, which has been off since I tried to call her at 1:40.
And her keys, is that her car keys or her
Car
apartment?
keys, apartment, mailbox. It's like a set of keys. Yeah.
Weird.
Yes. And she never leaves the car door unlocked. But I mean, she does have a 3-year-old baby, so I don't know. But she would not leave the car door unlocked. I'm a big pusher on that. So I push her to lock everything. So
One of the things we first talked about when you first got here is, like, obviously there's a lot of scrutiny on you. I mean, I imagine that's got to be tough. You're going through this absolute nightmare.
yes.
And then people obviously have to check you off their
Yes.
list. That's got to be really difficult.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't even, I just pretty much ignore that. I don't know how to handle it, but like, I know it's a question. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to. I just ignore it because I know it's not true. Yeah, it's negative. So I don't want to. Yeah.
We're trying to be positive and find her. We can't help anything about what anybody thinks.
Yeah, I haven't even seen any comments.
We know
I mean,
what we think.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
And just talk about, you're trying to find her. Talk about things you guys are doing, because it seems like you're doing a ton.
Yeah. I mean, the first day, I was going through dumpsters over here, just through her keys. Or we just walked around the apartment complex. I sat outside to see any suspicions, anything that was weird. I didn't see anything. I asked, like the next morning, I just sat out here for hours and asked everybody if they seen or heard screaming, anything that was off or suspicious. Everyone's knowing, but I mean, like, they're all saying no. And
cameras.
yeah, we went across through HEB. We asking everybody for if they had cams on their car. I don't know. We're just asking all the questions that we can and looking through everything. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what else to do, because it's already the third day and it's getting scary. I don't know.
Check the traffic lights at both ends. There's two intersections here, and all they do is, if you break a law or you run a light, then they film you. So that wasn't viable. And then we checked all the HEBs. We checked, they I guess they have it on all their stores combined and whatever, and nothing came from that either. So we're still just trying. We have an agency coming tomorrow. I think it's the guy's name is
Tim Miller.
Miller, and he has an agency that helps folks. He had the same thing happen to him, and as a result, He's developed a company that has high-tech equipment to go in and do things very quickly and in some views more efficiently than the local police. So he's going to be here tomorrow and help us with a bunch of it, and we're hopeful that he'll come up with something. So it's all state-of-the-art equipment.
How do you deal with this with, I mean, you've still got kids at home.
Yes,
How
I
do you
haven't
deal with that?
I haven't told them, but I just try to. I mean, like they're with a separate part of the family right now until we at least get an answer. So that's why I have great support, and they're kind of juggling with them right now while all this is going on over here. So I don't want to put that in their brains yet because I'm an adult and I can not even handle it. So I'm not going to put that in their head so we know something. They're too young.
What else do you want people to know?
That this is amazing family. I mean, she's so supportive and she just wants to help everybody as well. She wants to help. I mean, she's the most giving person. She only has $4 in bank account and she's still helping somebody out. You know, she's a great person. She needs to be back. Her son needs her. I need her. Her family needs her. If any woman with a little baby that kind of looks like her, please give anybody a call. News, 911, I don't care.
We're open to anything.
Anything,
Any
any help, any help.
way. Get a hold of Austin PD, or we're soon to have a cell phone number that you can call, and we'll keep everybody posted on that, where people can give tips. We're going to try and get a reward going for information leading to finding her. So that's in the near future.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
Just everybody be on board. The more shares, the more likes, comments, any platform that you could do, share. If you don't know me, I don't care. Just put it out there and just let it get around. You don't have to know me. Just post and share as much times as you can. No, it takes 1 second for her family to be happy. Just 1 second.
We've got to find her. We're not taking no for an answer. We've got to find her.
Thank you.
3-week-old baby now, dropping off another child at Cohen Elementary School. Police believe Broussard returned home with the baby to their home in South Austin, but Broussard hasn't been seen or heard from since. Shane Carey, Broussard's fiance, says when he came back home, nothing was really missing except for Broussard's cell phone. Carey says he doesn't believe Broussard left on her own and is begging for whoever took her to bring her and the baby back.
Just bring her home safe or put her somewhere safe. Her and the baby, just feed the baby. She's only 3 weeks old. So just find a way. You won't be in trouble and just drop her off. She has a beautiful family.
Also, in the interview, he was laughing, grinning. I don't know if that was a nervous twitch, a nervous laugh. But when asked questions, he couldn't answer them kind of naturally. He had to really think, like, you know, when somebody's made up a story, like they've made up a story, and he's trying to get his story together. Because if you're asked a question, just a normal question, it's going to be easy to answer. Yes, they're going to say he's stressed, he's never been through this before, we don't know how anybody would act. But he's the one that wanted to do the interviews. He should have been ready. And you want to get the word out. So you want to get out as much detail as possible. You want to tell people what a loving person she is, and you want to tell them how much you miss them, and that's my baby too. And I'm missing my baby dearly. You want to get the word out. You ain't got no time for yourself. It's not about you. It's about finding your girlfriend and your baby. But anyway, he goes on like that, and then, you know, once he stood up from the interview because he walked away live on air, and he came back quick, and he had his family around him, like his dad was to the side and somebody else was to the other side, so he wasn't alone in the room. And he started swaying. They asked him not to sway. Could you keep a little still? You know, it's okay to sway a little bit, but he's like swaying. He's making me dizzy. And that laugh, I mean, okay. And then he keeps repeating the $25, the $25. So for 3 books, it was $25, guys, $25. Even. Yep. And who's to say she made that call to him and said, I just did this for $25. But anyway, I guess, you know, he said that. He just keep repeating it all the time. He said about the lunch. We made lunch. She made lunch. I made lunch. Which is it? Which is it? Because apparently you said on Thursday was just an average Thursday morning, whatever. And you set your alarm, it goes off at 6 o'clock. You hit the snooze button a few times. And then you get up and you do your thing. You do your thing. And then at 6:30, you wake them up. You wake Heidi up. You do. So Heidi doesn't get up by herself. You have to go wake her up. Because you said that. And you do your own thing. But on this day, first of all, you said it was a typical Thursday. But then in the next breath, you said, but you were running late that day. You were running late that day. But you were out the door by 6:40. You were out the door by 6:30. Now, you said you woke Heidi up at 6:30. And she was making lunches. Well, lunches for who? For you? I just assumed she was making lunches for you and her son, or for you. I don't know. I got confused there. But anyway, I just assumed maybe she got up at 6:30 to make you lunch. Why didn't you make your own lunch and stuff? You know, make your lunch the night before. Be ready to go. But anyway, that's what he says. And then he left the house. You know, he's got his own routine. He's got his own routine. And as I said, he spoke to her at 8 in the morning, then spoke to her at 1:40. And her phone's off or the battery's dead. He said, there's no sign of anything in the apartment. No sign of anything in the apartment. Anything. What? That just don't make sense. Anything. I mean, who? I don't know. Who thinks that way? Who says that? You know, you would say, oh, I go home and nobody was in. Well, I don't know. Everybody's different, I guess, you know. And then he keeps saying fiance, fiance. And in the end, he couldn't even say fiance anymore. He was laughing. He couldn't, I don't know. He found fiance. Was it, oh God, I can't say that word anymore. Like that? I don't know. But anyway, he could hardly say that word anymore. And he says, and when he was just talking, he says, oh, because I've been doing this all day, repeating the same old thing all day. Well, if you've been repeating the same thing all day, this interview should have been real natural, and you would know exactly what to say because you've been doing it all day. So you shouldn't hesitate, and you shouldn't be saying you want to do it natural. But anyway, he was, I don't know, he was getting overwhelmed, or he's getting bored. You know, he was getting bored of repeating himself. Yeah. He was probably just, the more he went into interviews, the more he shouldn't have done it. He started to look pathetic. And sad, but pathetic. Now, he wasn't doing a very good job. That's all I'm saying. He might be innocent, but he's still making himself look bad by doing interviews. Don't ever do interviews. Maybe you could do one and get it over with, but never do interviews. Unless you have your lawyer next to you, because he can advise you on what to say. And then he says, well, I think he must be on YouTube or something. Facebook, definitely. Because he says a statement like this. Oh, guys, don't forget to, you can support me because I'm going to be at home for the next few days. So he's telling people that he's going to be home to support him. I don't know what that means, support him or give him some money. But support him and share and like the post. Like we do on YouTube. Share, like, and subscribe. Right. And he's not keeping his eyes open. They start closing when he's talking. When he's being when he says how much he loves her and all that, he has to close his eyes and he misses them and he has to close his eyes. That's not natural. You open your eyes and you tell whoever's behind that camera, and you beg for her safe return. But guys, right now, the FBI, adopted persons, missing persons are all involved in this case now. At the beginning, they just say, well, give her a moment. She could have had a moment and she wanted to be by herself, away from you. Give her some space and wait 24 hours. But sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you have to act right away. But the police and Amber Alerts and stuff like that, you need to meet a standard. You need to meet the criteria of what Amber Alert is all about. Because apparently Amber Alerts cost a lot of money. I guess it might not be for free. You can't just press a button and Amber Alerts go out. They have to be 100% that if this is for real and their life is in danger and a car is used or whatever. But there is stages an Amber Alert has to qualify for. So I mean, that slows things down. Because she's a mother, yes, and they could have been arguing, and she decided that she don't want to come home. And you can pick your own son up from school. I don't know what was going through her head. But you know what, guys? There's got to be some kind of surveillance around the neighborhood. There's got to be people coming to and fro. She got out of her car. I mean, her baby stuff is in the house. Did she make it in the house and was followed? I don't know if she ever did take the baby stuff out of the house. Because if she's just going to the school, she's probably already changed the baby and she's not planning on being long. So that's why it was in the home. She wasn't going anywhere. She'd be back within an hour or so. But how did she get out of her car and get into her apartment? Well, if we believe he did something to her, she had to have been in the apartment, and we don't know how she left the apartment. But it's kind of iffy right there, because yeah, he was innocent until proven guilty, but now he doesn't really have much of an alibi between those times, because he left work. It's not like he was at work all day and got the phone call, hey, somebody, whatever. He got the phone call, but he got home at 2. But he doesn't have that little bit of an alibi by being at work all that time. So she could have been in the house, and God knows what was going on in the house, but why was her purse left in the car and her phone and keys are gone? And he goes, look, the first thing he thinks of, he goes looking for her keys, not her phone. Why go looking for keys in the dumpster? That's just strange. Looks for the keys in the dumpster, but don't look for a phone in the dumpster. Is he looking for a body in the dumpster? I don't know, guys. Well, guys, these are kind of what's going on right now, and he probably has lawyered up by now and told to be quiet, because his interviews didn't go that well. He said way too much, and his emotions, his reactions, his responses, his actions, his demeanor, his the whole demeanor is not making him look good at all. So we'll keep an eye on this case and see where it goes in the next few days. The police made their statement, as you heard, and he is not a suspect at this time. But they're probably investigating him, because they have to, they have to do that. They will be looking into actions, videos from neighbors, videos from down the road by the store. They've looked to the school surveillance already, so they're going to trace her tracks, see if they could spot anybody following her, or somebody behind her. Was somebody waiting there that was waiting for her to leave and waiting for her to come back, because she came back. Now somebody must have seen something. So guys, they're investigating that. They are. We know that. And thank you for stopping by, guys. Comment. Let's have your opinions. Let's have your thoughts. Do you believe him? Or if he's innocent until proven guilty, but he kind of made himself look bad. Sorry, but he's the one that did the interviews. he just said too much. Now, if you compare the video to the Watts case, on, you know, when he starts to stuttering and, you know, his words again, he did the same thing. He did the same thing as Watts. And you know what Watts said. He said when he got home, his house was like a ghost town. Like a ghost town. And he said he was never going to turn on those kids, whatever they were called, you know, those lights. He was never going to do that again. Well, how did he know he was never going to do it again? They'd only been missing a day. It was a ghost town already. He's never going to turn that machine on again, that rain machine. Yeah. You know, little statements like that. And the rocking, he was rocking, but he was hugging himself a little bit more. But this one decides he'd wear his hat. You know, put a hat over his head. You know, cover his ears. He kept on saying he couldn't hear. But yeah, well, take the hat off. Your ears might help. You know, stuff like that. So guys, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to like, share, and sub to my channel if you like. And press that notification so you can be notified of future videos.